After 10 years of torment in the realm of void, Goku finally succeeded in reaching the Golden Instinct, the level that surpassed all kings, and completed the trial of the mysterious woman. Only one stage remained, the final and hardest one, complete mental liberation, the key to escaping the void and taking revenge. At the same time, on Earth, Gohan's scream shook the skies, and his long-awaited power erupted, Ultra Instinct. His friends were stunned, and the gods of destruction were furious. After waiting 10 long years for this chance, their plan to destroy Earth had become only a matter of time. In the realm of void, Goku was now able to feel everything happening outside. Be careful. Any thought of the outside world could trap you here forever. You must focus only on yourself and what lies ahead. Surprised, Goku asked, "What about my appearance? What do these symbols mean?" The mysterious woman extended her hand and said softly, "Let me cleanse you first. Your power doesn't suit this battered form. Your skin is burnt. Your clothes are in tatters." Suddenly, she raised her hand and a blinding light burst from Goku's body. His form changed into a majestic, angelic figure, radiant with divine energy, now fully ready, both physically and mentally, for the ultimate test. Goku gazed in awe and spoke respectfully. "I still don't know you well, yet you treat me as if we've known each other for ages. What do these garments mean?" She smiled and replied, "These garments reflect your level of power, the strength that is about to elevate you to the realm of angels. Had I given them to you before your transformation, their sheer weight would have shattered your bones." Goku grew more confused and asked, "What do you mean by angel?" She closed her eyes gently, leaving the question unanswered, then extended her hand as if initiating the final stage and whispered, "Be careful not to think too much. What happens outside is dangerous. You've gained the ability to sense your family, but do not focus on them now. Close your eyes and let my power flow slowly into your body. If I pour it all at once, your body will explode." Goku was stunned. He began to realize the extent of her sacrifice, that what she was granting him wasn't mere training, but a power beyond imagination. Meanwhile, on Earth, after the explosion subsided, Gohan stood firm, embodying Ultra Instinct in a completely unique way. Krillin and Piccolo couldn't believe what they saw. They realized Gohan's level wasn't a copy of Goku or Goten's power. It was something distinct, new, and utterly his own. The gods of destruction were shocked, exchanging anxious looks. Belmod sneered, "We thought this would be easy, but it seems the real fun begins now." Kitela interrupted confidently, "I'll handle this myself." He descended to Earth, challenging Gohan. Champa warned him, "Be careful, he's not what you think. Beerus faced that kind, and lost." Still, Kitela mocked him, believing Gohan posed no threat. Gohan remained silent, slowly walking toward his opponent. Kitela launched an attack. Gohan seemed motionless, the area filled with dust. When the dust cleared, Gohan stood behind Kitela, his speed incomprehensible, leaving his foe and the gods in total shock. Gohan continued walking toward the gods of destruction, ignoring Kitela entirely. Enraged, Kitela attacked in a fit of fury, causing a massive explosion. His friends feared Gohan was hurt, but when the dust faded, Gohan stood tall, while Kitela lay broken on the ground. Everyone realized Gohan had ended the battle with one hand. How could that damned brat reach such a level? Gohan walked forward with unshakable confidence. The gods grew uneasy, but Belmod mocked them. "Relax. Kitela was an idiot, the weakest among us." Then he turned his head and said coldly, "Jin, Liquier, let's have some fun with this little rodent." The three descended together, standing before Gohan. They charged their united power. The earth trembled, the sky flashed with violent energy, and destruction seemed inevitable. Gohan, however, remained calm, unmoved.
Let's see what you've got, insect. This blast will wipe out your precious little planet.
The three unleashed a massive surge of energy. The explosion shook the planet, obliterating everything nearby. But when the dust cleared, Gohan stood untouched, perfectly calm. His friends were speechless, but then they noticed a transparent, shimmering barrier surrounding them like an invisible shield. Krillin whispered in awe, "What is this? Who did that?" Piccolo frowned. "Impossible. That's not his energy." But how? Gohan looked at his friends, puzzled by their shock. Belmod was speechless, whispering to himself, How did he reach this level? And where did that barrier come from? Who's protecting them?" Tension filled the air. Then, far away, in a quiet, eerie place under a trembling sky, two mysterious figures appeared, watching the chaos left by the clash between Gohan and the gods. Their features were hidden, but their immense aura made the air itself quiver. One extended his hand, and a strange blue energy swirled around it. His companion, with a deep, echoing voice, said, "So you've finally decided to move after all this time?" The other replied coldly,
"Yes, there is no more room for delay. Only three things matter to me in this world: my family, this planet, and that person who caused what you have become."
"I know who you mean. He's the reason you've become who you are now." At that moment, Goku's body trembled slightly, and he whispered to himself, "That energy, I can feel it from far away. Familiar, but changed, as if it has been transformed completely. Who are they?" "Stop, Goku. You're at a critical stage. Drowning in thought will ruin everything you've achieved." Goku smiled faintly and murmured, "Hold on, Gohan. Please. You're the hero now. I'll focus and come to you soon."
In a vast celestial palace, towering above all universes, inside the great royal hall, the priest gathered with all his angels, his children, their faces reverent, not daring to look up at him. Behind them stood the Kaioshins from every universe, who looked uneasy and fearful. The high priest slowly raised his hand, then spoke in a heavy voice.
"I have called you together today because we stand on the brink of a radical change in the system of the universes. What happened in the seventh universe was no accident. It was a disturbance in the sacred balance." He paused for a moment, then continued in a sharper, harsher tone. "The gods of destruction, after Beerus's death, now fear the same fate, and they seek to restore the honor stained by that disgrace. Therefore, I have given them official permission to cleanse the seventh universe, beginning with planet Earth."
The Kaioshins trembled at the mention of Earth.
"Your presence here, Kaioshins, is not an honor, but a precaution, so that none of you is killed and a god of destruction ends with him, as happened with Beerus. As for you, my angels, none of you will interfere in what is about to happen. This is my will, and this is my new law. I will purify the seventh universe myself, and I will choose a new god of destruction for it, and another angel after Whis' tutelage was withdrawn, after he exceeded his bounds."
The faces of the angels grew rigid. No one spoke. Yet Vadas was thinking of something else. She spoke to herself in a soft voice that no one heard.
"Gohan, I believed in you. That is why I taught you to surpass your limits. Protect Universe 7 for the sake of my brother Whis."
On Earth, tension rose as Gohan kept his composure. He began to advance toward them with slow, steady steps. Belmod shouted in overwhelming rage, "What are you waiting for? Liquir, Jin, kill him now!" At that same instant, the two lunged forward with blinding speed, both aimed at Gohan from opposite directions. Gohan extended his hands at the very same moment, intercepted them with both palms, grabbed their fists, and stopped their attacks as if time itself had frozen. Then he said with confidence, "I will show you no mercy from now on." He released a thunderous cry that pierced the horizon. Liquier and Jin tried to pull back, but Gohan's grips were like steel. Liquier screamed in panic, "Belmod, do something!" But Belmod wasn't given any time to intervene because the next moment witnessed a tremendous explosion. They detonated between Gohan's hands in a vortex of light and energy. They were finished. The friends who watched from afar could not believe their eyes. Belmod's eyes widened with a terror he had not known since becoming a god of destruction. At that moment, Gohan pointed with his finger and said in a voice like thunder, "You are the target now. There is no place to run."
Gohan vanished from his place. Only a blinding flash was seen, and he lunged at Belmod with a speed that surpassed light itself. The earth trembled as if struck by a celestial meteor. Belmod fell into Gohan's hands, who gave him no chance to breathe, and struck him hard. Gohan spoke in a deep, disdainful tone. "This is the so-called God of Destruction?" He was humiliating Belmod in front of everyone. All those present stood frozen in disbelief, unable to comprehend that this was the same Gohan they once knew. At that moment, Champa watched the scene unfold, and as he realized what was happening, a memory surfaced. He clenched his teeth and muttered in a trembling voice, "No, not again. This boy, he's repeating history. This is exactly what happened to Beerus." Belmod gasped for air, his head lifting, eyes trembling with fury and shame. "I, a god of destruction, humiliated like this, in front of everyone. You've torn my pride apart, boy. Enough!" The ground quaked again, and his body began to transform before everyone's eyes. Gohan stood still, completely calm, his eyes radiating nothing but confidence and contempt. Belmod approached with heavy steps, each one shaking the air, a savage grin twisting his rage-distorted face. He growled, "Now you'll see the true power of the destroyer you dared to defy." Suddenly, Belmod darted forward like an arrow, unleashing a relentless flurry of punches faster than sight could follow. In the midst of the blazing battle, Gohan was hurled backward by a tremendous force, crashing into the ground. Gasps echoed everywhere. Krillin shouted in shock, "Gohan fell?" Far away, the High Priest observed the battlefield with a cold smile, whispering to himself with satisfaction, "My wish has succeeded. Goku's memory has been erased. Zeno will never question it again." In the realm of void, Goku, eyes closed, smiled faintly and murmured, "Some of those who became gods of destruction. I wonder how they were ever chosen. Belmod, how naive you are." The scene shifted back to Earth as the dust began to settle. Gohan lay on the ground, smiling serenely. He rose slowly and said in a tone that struck at pride itself, "I deliberately lowered my guard, but you disappointed me. You haven't even reached 50% of my power." Everyone was stunned. Belmod tried to regain his composure and charged again, but one strike from Gohan was enough. Belmod was thrown to the ground, his aura extinguished as if snuffed out completely. Gohan's voice thundered through the sky. "Who's next?" Silence fell. The dignity of the gods was shattered. A heavy stillness lingered before Gohan smirked coldly and said, "Fine, let's make this fun. All of you, come at once. I'll entertain myself before I finish you." From afar, Piccolo shouted in warning, "Gohan, don't waste time. Their power is being supported. We don't know who's behind them." But Gohan's confidence had overflowed. The urge to make them taste humiliation lured him into recklessness. Suddenly, in a moment no one expected, Belmod lunged at him from behind with deadly speed. He wrapped around him with an aura resembling sorcery. Gohan couldn't break free immediately. Belmod laughed mockingly. "Ha ha ha! Did you forget who I am? I'm the destroyer who masters tricks and illusions. My Hakai power is fused with ancient magic. What surrounds you now will bind you no matter how hard you try. I'll blow myself up. I no longer care to live. We'll go together." Gohan screamed, his voice tearing through the heavens as unbearable pain engulfed him, his body suffocating within the swirling storm of Hakai energy. His friends shouted his name.
Krillin pounded the barrier with his fists. "What is this cursed shield? I can't break through!" Piccolo furiously yelled. "It's the same barrier that appeared before, but who created it?" Gohan's wife wept as his daughter Pan screamed. "Dad will die if we don't do something!" But no one could act. Far away, among the clouds and the darkness, the two mysterious figures stood watching the scene, one of them with his hands raised. The first stranger spoke. "Aren't you going to intervene? If Belmod keeps this up, he'll cross the line." The second, in a deep and resolute voice, replied, "Not yet. We must see how he endures the pain. Growth is not born from victory, but from suffering." The air around them quivered, their eyes gleaming, as if they knew far more than what was revealed.
In the realm of void, the mysterious woman watched Goku, her eyes glowing with concern. The drops of energy that had been nourishing his body began to fade, and she spoke in a deep, serious voice. "It seems the time has come for you to know the truth. I've delayed this moment for far too long." Goku opened his eyes halfway through his meditation. "What do you mean? What truth?" She smiled sadly, a soft tear sliding down her cheek as she whispered,
My name is Alicia. I lived before the Age of Angels, but before that, I was a wife and a mother to an innocent child until my husband was sealed away and my son was lost to the shadows." Goku was stunned. "A husband? A family? Even angels had families?" Alicia closed her eyes and replied softly, "Yes, even light once knew loss. Before the priest's children existed, my husband was the true ruler of the supreme universe. We never knew cruelty until ambition took root in the priest's heart. He began to desire power, believing kindness was weakness and that order required an iron hand. He said rule could not exist without fear, but I believed that light alone was enough." "And what did he do?" She answered, "He created a new order, the gods of destruction. He placed them beneath the angels, not to protect balance as he claimed, but to eliminate any being he saw as a threat to his high throne. He gave them the right to kill, but they abused their power, oppressing and erasing worlds in the name of order. I opposed his decrees, his tyranny, and he began to fear my strength. One day, he decided to imprison me here by using my own son." Goku gasped, "Your son? What do you mean?" She replied, "Our kind is different, Goku. We carry the power of erasure by nature, the greatest threat to the priest. So he exploited my son and betrayed us. He sealed my husband first, then made a wish that my name be erased from everyone's memory, even my son's. History is repeating itself, Goku. What he did to me, he has done to you now. He made you vanish from the king's memory itself, so that Zeno would never ask about you again." Goku froze, his voice trembling. "Do you mean Zeno? Are you truly his real mother?" "Yes, Goku. Zeno was my son. He was beautiful, innocent, laughed at everything, but the priest turned him into a child with no expression, no fear, no anger, no joy. All within him became still." Goku stomped the ground, the void quaking beneath him. His voice thundered, "I swear I'll escape from here. I'll bring you back and restore everything to how it once was." But Alicia smiled gently. "No, Goku, I won't be with you this time." "What do you mean? Don't tell me that—" Light began to gather around her, bright and pure, like a dawn swallowing the darkness. She said softly, "The end is near. All my power will be passed to you. I've watched you all this time, and I know your heart is purer than you can imagine." She approached him, extending her hand. Between her fingers appeared a sacred pendant, glowing with divine energy. "Take it. Guard it well. It's not just a pendant. It's a key to something far deeper than you realize. You'll understand its meaning when the time comes." Goku took it carefully, staring at it in confusion as tears welled in his eyes.
Meanwhile, on Earth in the battlefield, Belmod's explosion had ended. No one intervened, but the shock came after. Belmod was dead.
Gohan stood firm, though barely. His energy had collapsed. He was struggling to stay upright. Pan's scream tore through the silence. "Dad!" Tears streamed down Vidal's face as destruction surrounded them. Gohan raised his head toward them, tears glistening in his eyes, and despite the pain, he smiled and said, "Don't worry. No matter what happens, I'll stand my ground. I'll never break my father's promise."
He stood with difficulty, then screamed from the depths of his soul, a roar that shook the very earth. "Come on! Attack! All of you! Even at my weakest, I will never back down. I'll fight for my father's promise. Come on!" In the distance, the two mysterious figures watched in utter silence. Their faces were emotionless. Not a word escaped their lips, as if they already knew that what was about to happen was beyond any intervention. Meanwhile, in the realm of void, the final moments drew near. Alicia spoke to Goku, her voice overflowing with warmth and motherly tenderness. "It's over, Goku. You've officially become an angel. All of my power now flows within you. Don't mourn my disappearance. I'll always exist inside you. You'll feel my energy gradually. Use it wisely. And remember, light doesn't lie in strength, but in the heart that guides it." She smiled through her tears as the light slowly consumed her until nothing remained but a pure golden radiance, scattering like sacred dust. Goku shut his eyes tightly, tears streaming from his face. He gripped the pendant in his hand and whispered shakily, "I promise, none of this will be in vain. I'll restore balance. I'll shatter his chains, even if it costs me my life. For you, Alicia, and for Goten, I will do it. Now!" At that same moment, on Earth, the gods of destruction had reached the peak of their power, the sky splitting apart, the ground trembling violently. But in the void, Goku's scream grew louder and louder until the walls of reality themselves began to crack like glass under immense pressure. In a distant palace, the Grand Priest suddenly raised his head, his eyes widening in disbelief. He felt something he hadn't felt since the dawn of creation. Rising in anger, his voice thundered across the royal hall.
Impossible! This disturbance. In the realm of void only? There's no one there but him.
His expression twisted into a mix of dread and fury. He shouted at his children, his voice making the walls quake.
Go at once, all of you! Do not let the void collapse. If it does, it will destroy everything, the entire order I've built. Hurry!
His children shot off at blinding speed, their bodies turning into streaks of divine light heading towards the crumbling void, while Goku's scream continued to rise, splitting the heavens of that realm apart. The angels gathered in formation, each releasing their aura to contain the explosion from the void, but their power wasn't enough. Only one angel remained motionless. Vados. She didn't take a single step, and in the heart of the void, Goku sensed their interference and roared. "They're trying to stop me, but I won't stop. For you, Alicia, and for you, Goten, I will do it now!" At that instant, the gods of destruction on Earth completed their energy charge. Gohan, exhausted and broken, stood amidst the ruins and screamed against the inferno approaching him. His voice merged with his father's across the dimensions, their cries uniting across universes. The angels began to lose balance. Even the Grand Priest's throne trembled, and for the first time since eternity, his heart quaked. Then suddenly, the realm of void exploded. A colossal light engulfed everything, as if the universe itself were being reborn. On Earth, the destruction energy vanished. Hawkeye itself, erased as though it had never existed. The gods of destruction trembled, stepping back, their breath caught in their throats, eyes wide with a terror they had never known. Impossible! What was that? The warriors around them looked in disbelief, unable to comprehend what they were witnessing. The sky itself had ignited with sacred light. Even those far away, Frieza, Jiren, Broly, and countless others froze, their hearts trembling with an unfamiliar rhythm. And in a faraway height, the two mysterious figures watched from above. A slow smile spread across one of their faces as he spoke in a low, calm tone. He finally did it. He's coming, and I'll be waiting for him. Silence fell. All the angels stood in a single line,
in awe of what they beheld. Before them, amidst the fading light, he stood, his body radiating with royal energy, his hair shimmering with celestial brilliance, his very presence exuding serenity and majesty. He lifted his head slightly, and his voice came forth, calm yet piercing through every heart.
The age of submission is over. Now begins the era of light.